Welcome everybody to Formula 7 Realistic. We are live here in Silverstone for this realistic race. Remember, we do have 6 drivers. Why have I got no audio? Bear with me guys, I've got no audio. Problem is the kids mess around with everything. Yeah, the kids mess around with everything, so then when I go back in it, it usually doesn't work for some whatever reason. Can anybody else? Let me just get up. Sorry, I'm so unprepared. I've not been well. I've only just woke up. I don't know if you can hear the game audio either, so let me just check. Yeah, so you can hear the game audio. Oh, annoying. That is very annoying actually. Sorry, one sec. Oh, he's turned it. He's turned the whole volume down. Brilliant. Right. I've got no game on. Because I'm using PlayStation controller on Xbox 2.6. There we go, guys. So, Casper in the McLaren. Remember, we do have a lot of drivers that are on qualifying bans, so it will be a bit of a mixed grid. So Casper into the pit lane. Mirko with that qualifying ban retires. Kars is in the Ferrari from the Sauber tonight. So a little bit of a change for him. So Kars, Jennifer, Zetu, Edward. Yeah, it's going to be very different. So we are on board with CJ. Fanfitness is out as well. CJ is going to try and improve in that Sauber. You've got Edward reserving in the Sauber here tonight. So CJ went up to P5. Oh my god, Barca are 6-2 now against Newcastle. They were 3-2 at half time. Well, they were 2-2 in the 45th minute. Not 6-2. And they've run away with it now. So I need to make sure I get a picture of this at the end. That is Reese in the Ferrari. He's just doing a few practice laps. You've got Jeffy Boy in the Red Bull. He's also on a qualifying ban. Yeah, I forgot about that. So, a lot of the drivers are going to be able to start further up in the grid here today. That is the Drivers' Championship as it stands here in Realistic. So, B Right leads on 156 points. You've got Reese on 129 and Leo Lund on 121. We have modified the billboards just a little bit. I do like it there with the at Formula 7 Racing. I think I modified 2 billboards from what we used on Saturday, if I remember correctly. From what we used on Sunday. Cars is reserving for a Ferrari. Where are you, Pele? Why are you not racing in that racing bull? So, Deadly is now going to start his lap. But yes, I did change just 2 or 3 billboards, I think it was, from Sunday. One of them being that one over there. And we'll get a picture of it though. Oh, there it is. Hello. We like it. So, down in towards Brooklands. Over them race director billboards. It sort of personalises the billboards, doesn't it? Makes them your own, you know, makes them your track and your broadcast. I love it. So, out of Woodcote and then down towards Cops we go. As we ride on board with the Williams, who is going to start quite far up in the grid. There's some of the new billboards as well. You'll watch it now, look, above the head. Williams slightly wide. He's going to get a huge slipstream there above your head. That's a new one. We love it. Oh, and he's getting a huge tow from his American teammate. You love to see it. And the Williams, who know that they're going to be getting quite high up in this grid, are already working together to try and get the best possible start position. So around club, down towards the line, and it's P3 for Deadly. What a lap, and now he can offer the same fate for his teammate. Super Turbo in P5, Jay's in the Haas, B right, Sam the man. So we will ride on board with the American of Jay's to see what he can do. There's a lot of new overlays coming as well, which I'm looking forward to. I'm starting to get used to it. All of these, you know, all of these like stand-ins and stuff that we can use, and yes, really good. So to the line, Jay's P4, a 127.2. Wow. And that is the constructors. That's how it looks at the moment. So McLaren lead on 225. Mercedes are in P2 on 180. Ferrari then on 129. Racing Bulls on 117. Williams on 34. Aston on 31. So there's, and the Alpine on 25. So there's some big points through the middle of that grid available to a team. The Red Bull on 19. Now, the difference between 8th and P5 is about 150 million, so you might want to be careful there. Sauber on 17, and then the Haas on 2. So, XD Storms in P6, CJ, Jennifer in P8, Zetu in P9. The fastest lap from Casper, going even quicker. What about Edward in the Sauber? Yeah, I was just thinking the exact same thing, mate. Let me have a look. No, yeah, no, the Red Bull should be on 27. In fact, it's all wrong there from the week before. I do apologise. So, bear with me whilst I just quickly sort it. So, team standings. So, Alpine, yeah, still 25. Aston Martin are on 31 yet. Ferrari are on 151. Haas are on 2 yet. McLaren are on 256. Mercedes are on 207. Racing Bulls are on 127. Red Bull are on 27. Sauber on 18. And then Williams are on 36. Right, there we go. So 5 minutes to go. So the Sauber just spinning around there. I thought I had muted everybody. I'm sure I've muted everybody. So Edward slipping out there. Sam the man's still in the pit lane. You've got Jennifer who's in P8. So Deadly in P3 at the moment. 4.5 minutes to go here in qualifying. I wonder if you could just mute the Xbox controller. How do you do that? I don't know how to mute an Xbox controller. But then I'm not talking through the Xbox controller, am I? I'm talking through the mic. I don't know how to mute on PC. I'm still getting used to it. So Deadly coming around, going a little bit of traffic into the pit lane. He goes. XD Storms in the Aston Martin. He's currently in P6. So he's doing a good job. So Casper currently in provisional pole. Cars in the Ferrari in P2. Deadly in P3. Then you've got the two Hasses in P4 and P5. That is Super Turbo and Jays. This is really falling into the hands of some of these slower cars with these engine penalties for these drivers. 2 seconds, guys. So, all of the drivers are now back on laps. XT Storms in the pit lane. CJ in the Sauber. Jennifer Lee in the Red Bull. So, they're not going to get another lap in. So, CJ is on a lap. He's going quite quickly. He's 2 tenths up. And then Jays is currently up on his lap time also. They are chasing down Casper, but I think their main target will be P3. I think Cars and Casper in the Ferrari and the McLaren will not be the aim of these drivers. I think they will all be wanting to get into sort of P3 territory. Jays is now down on his lap time, so he moves to Casper. He's just going through Maggots and Beckett. CJ. He's had 39 seconds of track limit penalties this season in the opening 8 races. So It'll be interesting to see if he can sort of get a decent race. Edward in the Sauber, just coming around Woodcote. Zetu in the Aston Martin. I think the Haas is going to be the final driver. The first of the final runners as he comes around. Oh, around Stowe, and he's lost the race, and that will cost him so much time. Jennifer cannot improve, neither can XD Storms. Super Turbo is finding a little bit more here in Silverstone with the checkered flag waving. But that is not stopping him from going for it. So around Club to the line. And it is P4 for Super Turbo. Casper into the pit lane. The Sauber of Edward. Oh, and he slips it in to turn 17. So that is it for the Sauber. Then comes the Aston Martin of Zetu, who's half a second up, but he's bottled it. It would have put him near Jennifer Lee, and he stays P10. Then you've got Deadly, stays P3, does improve. What about Sam the man? He's not going to make it to the checkered flag. Oh, he has a qualifying ban, I do apologise. He has a engine penalty. So there we have it. So I need to take a picture of this. And then we will retire from the race and go straight back into qualifying. So there you have it. It is Casper that will start on pole position. Cars in P2. And then Deadly in P3 starting on the second row of the grid. Alongside him is the Haas driver starting in P4. Then the Aston of XT Storms in P5. CJ in P6. Jennifer in P7. Sorry, Jay's in P7. Jennifer in P8. Edward P9, Reese in P10, the rest of them all with engine penalties. Reese, Leo, B. Wright, Sam the Man, Mirko, Fanfrenes and Jeffy Boy. So that's what we came to see. When it's got engine penalties, it does make it very, very interesting. I shouldn't have put formation lap on if I knew we were restarting the lobby, but, you know. Hey ho, here we are now. Right, let me just put the standings in whilst the formation lap is going on. It's getting pretty good at putting the names in this app now, except for people like Reese and B. Wright that don't show their names. But everybody else, it puts them in straight away. So, all the drivers, we'll just get the formation lap done and dusted. So, if Zetu and Fanfrenes can just retire. There we go, and then we'll go back to the lobby and sort out the grid. I'm glad we never get a race that actually starts like that. You know what? If we're not careful, it might actually red flag it. So we need the drivers to retire. Oh, we need the drivers to retire quickly, guys. Come on, don't try and be the hero that wins the race. Yeah, it's red flagged it. I think everybody might have retired quick enough. It's just Super Turbo. There we go. Yeah, 3 didn't. Guys, if we can just retire, please. So just Jeffy, Merkel, Super Turbo. Guys, come on. Just press pause and retire. He had to, didn't he? Yeah. Come on, guys. Right, there we go. I know, Jeffy, I know. No, I don't believe that for a second, Mirko. That's what you wanted to see right there. Well, there you got it. Right, so let's go back to the lobby and sort it. I'm only joking. Last time I did this, I forgot to shut down the app, and it ended up taking all this data as the race data. Oh, that was a nightmare to fix. Export session results. What? Let me have a look at this. Export session results saved. You can now access. No way. I wonder if you can import them into the app that Nimble uses. I wonder if I can export them just by clicking that and then import them through the file. That would be really good if you could. Yeah, I've never used a PC, so I don't know how to put myself in like a party on PC. So I stopped coming through on the game chat. I don't know how to do that, so. Right there. Everybody's muted. Right, let me sort out the lobby. What was that? Just switch your mic input or make it push to talk. Oh, yeah, mate. I don't even know how to do that. I don't even know how to do that. I swear to God, I'm really bad. Although it looks like I'm doing really good, I struggle a lot with like basic things like that. But like folders and all that, and switching folders and editing on Photoshop. Oh, give me that all day, you know. Right, Casper. Cars was P2. And Deadly. And Super True. XD Stones. CJ. Jays. And Jennifer. So as of not long woke up, I've not been feeling great. Jays and Jennifer. Edward and Zatu. And then it would be B Right, Reese, Leo Lund, Mirko, Fanfinus, Jeffy, Sanderman. So that, I think, is it. So if you go to the setting, so if I go to setting, audio, scroll to multiplayer. Oh, I can do mute by default as well. Oh, that's great. Nice one, mate. But everybody can still hear me on stream, is that correct? Right, I have done all the settings right, haven't I? Guys, do not forget your setups. do not forget your setups, and also just give it a couple of minutes before the race starts. Don't just go straight into the race. So don't forget your setups. Right, I can open the app back up now for the stats. Seven two now, Barcelona. That's crazy. It's not even round 8 either. It's round 9, isn't it? So we will get going soon, guys. The drivers are just putting on their setups. They're getting ready to race. Remember, we've got a Assetto Corsa as well this Friday. 30 drivers signed up for the grid. We did open it to 40, but we've not told anybody about it. So we've not had anybody come in. I do need to just throw it out there to make sure that everybody knows that there has some more seats that have opened up. So, formation lap. This is the grid for the race. Let's have a look at the standings before we get going. So, B-Right does lead the Drivers' Championship on 156 points. Race is in P2 on 129, and then Leo London on 121. Mirko in the Mercedes on 110. So, it is still very, very close in the championship. Casper on 82. This is a great chance for Casper because he's already took his engine penalty. So this is a really good opportunity for him to take maximum points. Fanfinis on 66, the world champion way behind. Hackmore in the Aston Martin and Deadly in the Aston Martin in P7 and P8 on 54 and 46. Jeffy Boy on 27 points and Epic OJ on 23. The Constructors' Championship looks like this. It is McLaren Mercedes 256, then Mercedes 207, Ferrari on 151, Racing Bulls on 127, Williams on 36 and Aston Martin on 31. Then comes Red Bull on 27, Alpine on 25, Sauber on 18 and Haas with their 2 points, but they have 2 drivers starting in the top 7 here today for Silverstone, so who knows what's going to happen. So he's absolutely stormed ahead here, Casper. The Ferrari is really far behind. I feel like I'm forgetting something and I don't know what, and it's doing my head in. So every single driver on mediums barring Leo Lund on hards and Sam the Man on softs. So here we go for round 9 here in Silverstone at Formula 7 Realistic, powered by Sim Racing Setups. And it's lights out and away we go. B-Right already through on Zetu. There's going to be a few drivers storming through the grid at the back. The Aston Martin around the outside of the Sauber, and the Sauber would not give in. CJ is round and into the wall already. Has he caused any issues? That is Reese Dye going around the outside of Edward. Then he'll look up the inside, but the Haas is blocking him. And B-Right is flying away in the distance. And the Ferrari. Oh, and that is Reese. Sorry, that is Edward. And was it Zetu or Jays? I think it was Jays. And the drivers, who had an amazing opportunity here today of throwing it all away. Leo Lund and Reese in P7 and P8. You've got B-Right already up to P5. Cars is chasing down Casper as we head down in towards Cops. But my goodness, what a start. I'm not really sure what happened there. With the Sauber, it was a frustrating one to watch that, because he could have easily just given him the space instead of keep moving into him. And now he's down in P15. That is Reese that gets through on Super Turbo. The Ferrari through on the Haas, and that is B-Right up the inside of XD Storms, getting to work here. He's already up to P4 before the end of lap 1. What about Jeffy as he battles with Mirko? Then you've got Sam the Man. Fanfinis is there, the world champion. But Jennifer, Zetu, CJ Edward and Jay's throwing away so many good positions. That is Reese up the inside of Abby at turn 1. That gets the move done. Then you've got Super Tuber and XD Storms. Leo Lund. Fanfinis is going on the inside of Sam the Man. And the Mercedes driver up to P11. But can he fend off the attack from the American? He's round again. And Fanfinis' season is going from bad to worse. Now he comes back on track. Edward goes around the outside. Oh, Jay's having to be careful to avoid the Mercedes there. Potentially a penalty. So Casper leading 2 cars. 2 tenths is the gap. In towards Cops we go. And he is going to have DRS now. In towards Maggots and Beckett. It is McLaren to Ferrari to Williams to McLaren. Super Turbo currently a 10th behind the Aston Martin. We jump back on board with the leaders. Is he close enough to get the overtake? I don't think he is. What about Leo Lund down in P8 in that Racing Bull? He's going to look for an inside move on the Haas, and he does get an inside move on Super Turbo. And Super Turbo having to just settle back in for it. He's in a good position here, Super Turbo. He doesn't want to try and fight any unnecessary battles. Reese still got B-Right just ahead of him. So this is the battle that some of the drivers were waiting for. The McLaren and the Ferrari, who were fighting for the Drivers' Championship with Leo Lund. And I'm wondering if any team orders will come into play. Deadly's doing a terrific job in the Williams to stay with these drivers. A real terrific job. Here comes cars around the outside of Luffield. That is Leo Lund in the Racing Bull. And look at that Mercedes behind. That is Mirko that makes the move on Super Turbo. Now comes Jeffy Boy. Wheel to wheel they go. Around Brooklands into Luffield and down Woodcote towards Cops. Look at these. The aerial views as they all go into Cops. And somebody just going wide there. I was surprised on Sunday that not a single driver got reported for running wide at Cops, because I noticed so many drivers doing it consistently, especially in Tier 1. I'm surprised nobody got reported for that. I'm wondering in realistic that they're a bit different to stuff like that. They'll probably report it. So Jeffy Boy on the inside of XD Storms. Oh, and a little shove there, and the Aston Martin driver having to go off the track. And I don't know why he's just cut that whole piece of grass. He could have just come back on. He has avoided getting a penalty though, but he has come out in P14. Better to be safe than sorry, I suppose, for the Aston Martin driver. So, Deadly still in front of B right at the moment in the podium places. So let's have a look at the reaction times. So B right 5.23, Deadly 5.53. B right was so quick off the line. Reese as well was also 5.53. Leo Lund 5.43, so he was a little bit quicker than the Ferrari, but just a tad slower than the McLarens. Casper is now starting to pull away, and Cars again going wide at Copse. I will be picking her up myself here tonight. So Reese, B right, here he comes on Deadly. They both got DRS though. Is the McLaren going to go at the inside? The championship leader, he does, and he is through on Deadly, and I think that is Zeta in the Aston Martin that is round. He is. Sam the Man also getting through on the Haas. Here comes Reese Stein, the Ferrari, and the Williams and the Ferrari go side by side. The Ferrari gets to move and clings on to the outside line, and he's up to P4. Yeah, a great start for Ben, absolutely. Now he's a second behind Cars. They are just in the distance, so you can see them as we're coming down towards Brooklands. And we can see the fastest sectors so far. It is the Ferrari of Reese in the fastest first and third sector. Nobody with a penalty just yet. So all the drivers safely through here on Copse this time. Great aerial shot. Silverstone is such a beautiful circuit. So B right is now within DRS range. And Cars has lost it. This is the McLarens now working together again. That is Super Turbo coming back through on Sam the Man. They used to having a good battle together. Jennifer Lee is still there. He wants some points for Red Bull. Points are becoming so important to the Red Bull team for the end of the season. Especially considering the monetary gains that you receive from an extra couple of positional places. And the money that you would receive is quite advantageous for the Red Bull outfit. So Jennifer, 3 temps is the gap. Here comes B right. Remember, he does have a DRS now, and you can look at the battery. Very similar on the battery charge at the moment between the car ahead and the 3-time realistic world champion. So as we head now in towards Copse, and Reese just behind, Deadly, Leo Lund, Mirko in the Mercedes, Jeffy Boy in the Red Bull. Then comes Super Turbo, Sam the Man. Then you've got Jennifer Lee in the Red Bull, CJ. But we're jumping back on board with the front 3 once again. He will have that DRS, but he's just going to run out of racing room on this occasion. But Sam the Man will try and reverse the favour. Yeah, Gravangan, you're absolutely right. Yeah. You're right in both of the things that you're saying. There is so many things missing that would make this such a better game. And yeah, the graphics, you should be able to use them in game. You should see the graphics you can use on things like Le Mans just in the actual game itself. You can use so many good things. And the broadcasting system on Le Mans is probably the best I've ever used. It's incredible. They make it so user-friendly. So here's the Mercedes, so you can see the pit stop time. So it was, as you can see, and Super Turbo picking up a second track limit. We don't want it to the leader, we want intervals. That is Fanfulness that is getting through on Jennifer Lee into Brooklands, and that's what he does. Oh, wow. So looking at the car information, 50% on their mediums already. Remember, Leo Lund is on hard compound tyres, so just remember that when you're looking at the standings so far. The mediums are falling off relatively quickly, but the drivers will have a little bit of an understanding on how this race progresses due to the fact that we raced here on Sunday. There goes Leo Lund up the inside of the Williams driver, and Deadly demoted down to P6. Leo Lund is now into P5 and only 3 seconds away from Reese and B. Wright, his 2 championship rivals, as you can see from the drivers' standings to the left on your screen at the moment. There goes Sam the Man and Fanfulness, who go wheel to wheel once again. The Mercedes trying to push him out wide, and the Dutchman, the world champion, is through. So Fanfulness doing a great job. So that is Zetu into the pit lane. So looking on board with the podium sitters. So cars, that is Merck on the back of Deadly into Maggots and Beckett. Cars running wide again there at Cox, but he got a track limit violation on that occasion anyway. So out of Chapel, and he was like a rocket ship there, Mirko. He will move through and into P6. Was that tactical? Was that tactical? So Mirko is through and up to P6, and there goes Fanfulness as well on Super Turbo. No hanging around. We can have a look at the last laps of these drivers, and you can see Fanfulness a little bit quicker. Into the pit lane goes some of the other drivers. Oh, speeding into the pit lane. So that is Zetu with a 10-second time penalty. He will be kicking himself. I wonder if... Oh no, I can't. I wonder if I can change them pictures. I have looked at that before. I need to check it out. Cars is starting to catch up to Casper. I'm wondering if the McLaren is starting to struggle on them tyres. Looking at the tyres actually. 66 and 67, but for Casper it is very similar actually. So into Maggots and Beckett, and look at them all grouping up now. This is great for Leo Lund, who can start to catch up to them, but he's got to go a long way, has the Swedish driver on them hards. So he wasn't able to catch up there, cars. Are they going to go into the pit lane? The Ferrari does, and so does B. Wright. But Casper and Reese have decided to stay out. Remember, they can't double stack. It is McLaren versus Ferrari here in Silverstone. It is not the way we thought it was going to go. And the drivers changing positions. Remember, Leo Lund having to stay out on them hards, but if he gets any kind of safety car, it will save his race. 10 laps down as we go through Village and through the loop and down the Hamilton Straight. Remember, SimGrid, Formula 7 racing. Zetu picking up a 3-second now as well. You see the gaps, 1.9 from Casper to Reese. It's probably been beneficial for B Wright that he pitted and left Reese without DRS, and now Leo Lund is trying to track him down. B Wright came out in P8 and he's come out, yeah, right behind cars in P7, but they are racing into around 8 seconds of clean air. Surely Casper and Reese will now come into the pit lane and follow their teammates, get it done. Yeah, they will, and so will Reese. They don't want to lose time. You've got to be careful going into the pits. And they do a slight lock up there. You can see the marbles on them tyres. Leo Lund will now be your race leader on lap 11. B Wright setting fastest sectors. Is that Ferrari going to slow him down? This is going to be close. Casper and Reese. Oh, Reese has been held up. I don't know if he got held up for too long though. Casper and Reese coming out of the pit lane. Where are Cars and B Wright? They're coming around Club now and down towards turn 1. This is going to be extremely close. There goes Casper out of the pit lane. Here comes Cars and B Wright, and Casper will be behind his teammate, and Reese, he lost quite a significant chunk of time there. Deadly comes out in front of Mirko around the loop. So B Wright is now in front of his teammate. So the McLarens have changed hands, and Cars is now your provisional leader, but for how long? There goes Mirko on Deadly. The Mercedes up the inside of the Williams into Brooklands around Luffield, and then we got Woodcote and all the way down to Copse. And look at this, the Williams got a really good exit as we go in towards Copse. And Deadly just having to back out a little bit there. Super Turbo on CJ as we head towards Copse. Can the San Marino driver get a move on the British driver in front? 3 seconds for Jennifer Lee. Into Maggots and Beckett. And you can see the drivers behind. Oh, and he's around! Super Turbo loses it. And into the wall goes the San Marino driver of Super Turbo in the Haas. 2 points all season they're on. They could have been on for some really good points today, but it seems like they're dwindling away again. The damage, yeah, to the front wing. And it is a disastrous season so far for the Haas outfit. But you never know what's going to happen. All you need is a safety car. Oh, there's an Aston Martin off the track. That is XD Storms. And I'm not sure why he's struggling. It looks like he just lost it, that was all. So down. Comms curse exactly beyond, yeah. Look at Edward, he's extremely close to Z2. Casper setting fastest laps. There goes Cars on Fanfinus, and the world champion being triple overtaken. Remember, he is the world champion, but he's way behind in the driver's standings at the moment, as you can see. And then he goes in to serve his pit stop, the Dutchman. A season to forget. B Wright setting the fastest lap of the race. Reese is starting to catch up ever so slowly. You can have a look at the last couple of laps. So he was quicker than Casper on lap 10 and 11. So Leo Lund 17 seconds clear. He will just be banging out these laps. And we know how good the Swedish driver is. He's built quite the reputation online. Everybody knows his name. And there's a reason for that. So do not count him out just yet. Leo Lund leading the time, though. He is losing huge chunks of time. However, if he gets any kind of safety car after maybe lap 15, 16, he could run to the end on a set of mediums. All 17 drivers still in this race. That is XD Storms with a track limit penalty. And CJ, 3 things guaranteed in life. I'm not playing, but there you have it. The 3 seconds we were waiting for. Makes it 42 seconds for the season. He is racking them up. He's the top of the leaderboard for that one. Bless him. But he is inside the top 10, CJ, so he's doing a terrific job here at managing his race, managing his strategy. I can't imagine how many points he's lost this season due to penalties that he's gained through track limits. But if he can get the consistency right and he can clean up them track limits, he could be a very, very good Formula 1 driver. So through Copse go the Ferrari and the McLaren, separated by half a second. The gap was 17 seconds to the leader. It's now 14.8, so it is coming down quite a lot. Edward on Zetu. The Sauber trying to find a way through, and then here comes B Wright in the McLaren. He did close the gap, but not enough. And look at Casper, he's all over his teammate now. Do they switch around? Remember, Casper's tyres are 1 lap fresher. There goes Fanfurness on Jennifer Lee. He's now on fresh tyres through Maggots and Beckett. Wasn't even waiting around. And then he'll get the second of the overtakes on CJ as he comes out of Chapel and then down the hanger straight, and the Mercedes up to P10. Look at Reese. He was 3 seconds behind. He's now only 1.9. So are the McLarens being held up by the other Ferrari driver? It looks like they potentially are working together. Super Drumo picking up a 3-second time penalty. Only lost 2 in Monaco because of a crash, but that was... Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, obviously he's had 42 seconds worth of track limit penalties this season in the opening 8 races plus this one 9. If he can clean that up, CJ, I can imagine he can be super consistent in that style. But he's got the pace. Like, look at him. He's got the pace to be there. He was the same for Red Bull last season. It was one of the decisions that were made to change him at the last minute was the track limits. That was the actual deciding point, because of how many points that he was throwing away due to track limits. Every race, if we had a safety car or anything like that, he'd have like 9 seconds, and it'd throw him all the way down the grid. And he's such a young kid as well, and as soon as he can sort them track limits, he will be unstoppable. And so here comes B Wright on the back of cars. What about Jennifer Lee on CJ, the Red Bull? Just eyeing up that kick Sauber in front. And look at the 2 Aston Martins, the teammates XD Storms and Zetu. Into 16 and 17 over the apex. XD Storms getting a better exit there, a little bit more consistent. But look at the pace of Zetu. Has he got fresher tyres? Because he looks a lot better on the wheel at the moment. Oh yeah, look at XD Storms. His tyres are dying out there. They're absolutely screaming. So CJ picking up another track limit. It's going from bad to worse for him here in Silverstone. I would have thought XD Storms would be letting his teammate through here. There's no reason at all really for XD Storms not to be letting his teammate through. So Leo Lund 10 seconds clear. And he is now going to pit and come out on the mediums. Yellow flag. Where is that? It's a Red Bull. It's Jennifer Lee. And imagine if the safety car had to come out there. So where is Leo Lund going to come out in this pack? He's got a lot to do. He's going to come out in front of Jeffy Boy and just behind Deadly. He is not a million miles away here, Leo Lund. It's an alternative strategy to everybody else's. No 10 seconds for Leo for speeding in the pit lane. You are right, Bjorn. So, cars in the Ferrari leads on lap 17. CJ into the pit lane. Oh, thank you so much, Banana, for the subscription. Subscribe with Prime for 31 months. Thank you so much, mate. Really, really appreciate that, mate. 31 months. So, cars, Be Right, Casper, and Reese is now starting to come into play. Only 1.5 seconds. I'm wondering, does Cars let his teammate through before the checkered flag? There goes Edward on XD Storms, and there goes Leo Lund, who is through on the Williams. And he makes light work of the first overtake. XD Storms, Edward is through in that Sauber. And the Aston Martin really starting to struggle on them hard compounds. And Reese is now within DRS range. So Reese is inside DRS. So look at Casper. I'm wondering if Casper maybe starts to come into that teammate territory and will start to slow the pack down, slow Reese down. 10 seconds for Edward. He will be kicking himself with that one. It's a slower pit entry here in Silverstone, so it can be a little bit difficult. How is Ben P2? He's in a bloody McLaren. Plus he drove a fantastic race as well. All the drivers that had engine penalties are all the way at the top. It probably helped them that the guys who didn't have engine penalties had a huge crash on the opening lap. But no, Be Right, Reese, Leo Lund, they've been really good coming through the grid. Be Right especially. So look at Reese, only 4 attempts, the Ferrari driver. Leo Lund picking up the fastest lap of this race. So here comes Jeffy Boy on Deadly. He'll go at the inside, and the Red Bull is up to P7. Still a really strong position for Deadly to be in. I've said it before and I'll say it again. How he's not in a quicker car. Be Right is round. Be Right has made a huge mistake. Coming around Cops. He is now behind Reese. And we were just saying what a race he'd been driving and how well he'd been doing. And he's just lost a position, but he's got the DRS on Reese. He goes to go at the inside, and that was a bit cheeky there by Reese. He went left and then switched it right at the very last minute. He knew what Be Right was going to do. Defensive driving from the Ferrari. And it looks like Be Right, look at that. That was a really bad entrance into them couple of chicanes at turn 16. And I think the pressure might be hitting him a little bit. He needs to calm back down. He knows that Reese and Casper have got a 1 lap fresher tyres than he's got. So, Be Right down to P4. That is a yellow flag. And that I don't know who that is actually. All 17 drivers still in the race. So look at the gaps. Remember, B-Right still has DRS on Reese, and Casper now has DRS on Nick Cars. With 6 laps to go, it's Ferrari, McLaren, Ferrari, McLaren. Don't count out Leo Lund either. He's only 8 seconds behind the front 4 with 6 laps to go on them fresh and medium compound tyres. So Reese needs to get within DRS range of Casper to save himself from B-Right. Here comes B-Right again. And if the Ferrari can't get within the grasps of that McLaren in front, it leaves him open to B-Right behind. Remember, this is the Drivers' Championship. That's how it looks at the moment. So it would only be a difference of 3 points between Reese and B-Right in P3 and P4. There goes Leo Lund, wheel to wheel with Mirko as he comes around the final chicane down towards turn 1. The Racing Bull is through on the AMG driver in towards turn 3. And the gap, 8.4 to the front 4. CJ, another 3 seconds for him. Can the Mercedes of Mirko respond to the Swedish driver of Leo Lund? Lap 22 of 26. So Cars leading in that Ferrari still. Casper is getting ever so closer though. The two Haas drivers swap around. Here comes Cars out of Maggots and Beckett. So he wasn't able to close up this time. I've got a funny feeling he's waiting. But he's not building up his battery. And if you were waiting, that's what you would be doing. So, the Ferrari to the McLaren. Is Casper going to be able to get this win? He can't even slow down and let his teammate through either. Because it would actually just give B-Right the same points on Reese. But the two McLarens are so close to the Ferraris here. This is going to be really interesting. We are on lap 23 of 26. Here we go. Jennifer Lee is through on Super Turbo. The Red Bull on the Haas. But Casper coming out of Maggots and Beckett and down the hanger straight. He's not close enough. What about B Right? They are locked in that DRS train. The alternate strategy from Leo Lund has not worked here in Silverstone. So Kars in the Ferrari is doing everything he needs to do. He was called up to the Ferrari team last minute. Whether that was legal or not, we don't know. But he's here now and he's leading. So XT Stars picking up a time penalty. But yeah, it was a great late replacement, was Kars. Stepped up from the Kick Sauber into the Ferrari. And he is now on course to win here in Silverstone. The last Dutchman to win the Silverstone Grand Prix here in F7 was the man in P9, Fanfrenis, the world champion, the last Dutchman. We've had many Dutch drivers win here in Silverstone over the years. We've had the likes of Fanfrenis, the Dutchman, win. We've had Kars win in Silverstone before. Nick Jews won here in Silverstone. Many Dutch drivers have come and gone before him, but Kars could join an elite list of drivers that adds their name into the history books of this British Grand Prix. The Ferrari leading to the McLaren. 8 tenths is the gap. He's starting to get his foot down. Reese, a slight mistake, and so did Casper. He's now a second behind Kars. He's left himself open. Casper 1.2 behind. He's opened up the DRS for Reese. And I'm not sure he's slowing down because it makes absolutely not one bit of difference to the constructors or to the drivers' standings. If Casper was to let him through, I think he's trying to help. I think he's trying to slow Reese down and give B Right an opportunity to get past. Are McLaren trying to work together on the penultimate lap of this Silverstone Grand Prix? Is Kars going to slow down? And there goes B Right. He's looking for a move up the inside. They are working together. It looks like Casper is trying to slow him down, and B Right has got to try and find a way through. If this is going to work, it's got to work now. Into Copse. Yellow flags are waving. Reese has gone wide again. Here comes B Right into Maggots and Beckett. He's looking for a way through. The Ferrari is in that McLaren sandwich. Through Maggots and Beckett. And out of the final corner, they both get DRS. And Reese, this might work out even worse for the McLarens. He's going to go up the inside. Casper's going to go later on the brakes. Wheel to wheel go the Ferrari and the McLaren. They are fighting really hard here as they go on to the final lap of this race. Through the final couple of corners. And he's slowing him down. 2.5 seconds is the gap now to the leader. Kars is going to win. So Casper in P2, he's opening the door, but B Right is throwing it all away. He cannot capitalise on what Casper is doing for him. He's making all these little mistakes trying to get through. Casper really doing an amazing job here, slowing Reese down, and B Right is not using that championship skill to get through. In to Brooklands we go. This is going to be one opportunity for B Right to get this. The gap now 2.8 to the leaders. Leo Lund is coming into play. That is Sam the man that is through on CJ. Back on board with the podium sitters. Casper slowing Reese down. Here comes B Right. He needs a good exit out of this chicane. And when we go into Maggots and Beckett, this is going to be the difficult bit. The Ferrari of Reese. B Right needs to get this right if they want to make this work. The McLaren drivers. He got a good entrance. Oh, and the exit is not there again. And now Casper might have opened up the door for Reese on the very last lap here in Silverstone. The Ferrari is going to go out wide. and he wasn't able to get through down towards the final chicanes. And B Wright just could not get through even with all that help. But it's cars that will come through to win here in Silverstone. Casper will take P2. Reese in P3. B Wright with a puncher. B Wright gets a puncher and creeps through the line. And Leo Lund only a second behind. That could have ended in tears. B Wright getting to the line with a puncher. But a great result all round. So, that was interesting. A great result. So let's go through the standings. So it is Cars that takes the race victory here in Silverstone. You've got Casper that finishes in P2 and Reese in P3. B Wright takes P4 with that puncher on the line. And Leo Lund in P5. Mirko takes P6. Jeffy Boy in P7. Vanfinis takes P8. Deadly in P9. And Sam the Man in P10. Then comes CJ, Jays, Jennifer, Super Triple, Edward, Zetu and XD Storms. My driver of the day is going to go to Sam the Man. Only because he was in a Williams. He was in a Williams. He started with an engine penalty in P17 and he finished in the points. I thought that was brilliant. But it could have been all of the drivers. Right, so let me have a look. So we can do interviews, a quick interview if you want. Oh, you're kidding, Harry. So how the hell do I put on Do Not Disturb? Oh, Liverpool have just gone 1-0 and so have Bayern. I'm guessing everybody's gone off to watch the Champions League. Right, okie dokie. Right, guys, that is it. We'll be back for Assetto Corsa on Friday. Thank you all so much for watching, tuning in and joining. I will see you for Assetto Corsa and then we'll be back on Sunday for Singapore. Take care, everybody. Have a great... we were doing interviews, Reese, but nobody joined. Oh. You always... Nobody joins when I'm asking to do interviews, and then as soon as I'm like, somebody jumps in the chat and goes, "Are we doing interviews?" Like, yeah. We were. What's going on? The stream's gone down. The stream's gone down. So we will start off with your P3 driver of Reese in the Ferrari. Reese, that was a great race, a good strategy from you. You ended up finishing on the podium. Just talk us through the race, mate. If you can hear me. You should be able to hear me. Let me join and join back. Hello? You might have to hold the push to talk button, Reese. There should be a button that you've got to hold when you're talking if you've got push to talk on. Can you hear me, Kaz?
Okay, yeah.
Right, okay. It's just Reese then. I'll just wait a minute.
I can. Not sure.
You can hear me, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. That's fine. I think Reese just having a few technical issues. I think he did last time as well. I think he's just got to sort something out on there.
Nathan, can you hear Reach or not?
I can't hear Reese, no.
I can.
Oh.
So.
Right, 1 second. You might want to just try leaving and rejoin and see if that works. I don't know why you can't hear me.
Hello?
Oh, I can hear you now, Reese.
Perfect.
Yeah, just talk us through that race, mate.
Yeah. Was always quite confident, obviously. Won in Tier 1 in Silverstone this weekend, so even though I had an engine penalty, I was hoping for a podium. But yeah, no, the race went how I expected, you know, sort of the McLaren sort of dictating how the race would went. But hats off to Cars because he done a brilliant job. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good strategy from yourself. Obviously, there was a lot of the drivers that were using the same strategy throughout the race, but you just had to make it work. There was some great racing, some good overtaking. The big talking point for you, you're on the podium. You've gained 3 points now to be right, and just pulling them up on the screen a second. Yeah, so you're on 129, whereas in B right is on 156. So that will bring it down quite significantly, even them 3 points for the remainder of the season. But just talk us through what everybody is wanting us to talk through. Is the ending there? That must have been really frustrating to get involved with both McLarens.
Yeah, of course. I mean, mine and Car. Once I found out about half an hour before the race that Cars was in the Ferrari, you know, we sort of discussed our plan. And we didn't want Casper and Ben to be next to each other on track because we just knew they were going to swap position, which eventually happened because Ben went for the undercut, followed Cars in.
Yeah.
So I just asked for Cars to dictate the pace, and he done an amazing job for that. Hats off to him. But yeah, at the end, obviously, all of us were struggling for tyres. I was actually quite surprised we held on for the same amount of time as McLaren's. I think that is credit to mine and Cars management. But yeah, there's a few times coming on to the exit of Wellington where you know, I've gone for a switchback on Casper, and he's just parked it on the apex as he's carrying speed through. So I've sort of hit the back of him twice. So that was a bit frustrating, but that's racing at the end of the day. Things don't go your way. Obviously, them extra 5 points would have been lovely to get. But yeah.
Yeah, and every sort of point matters at this stage in the race. It's always difficult when you're in that McLaren sandwich and you've got a sort of driver in front of you purposely slowing you down. It's always a real struggle. But I thought you did a terrific job, Reese. Sights set on the championship now. Obviously, you are currently 27 points behind him. You, with that 3 points, it's now 24. So you are within a race win of the championship lead now.
Yeah, of course. I mean, at the minute, I'm just taking it race by race. The Ferrari is hanging on for one stop every single race, so it's so difficult to keep up with McLaren's. And obviously, when you got two amazing drivers in that McLaren as well. Casper's really stepped up to that. So credit to Banana for getting him on board and also prioritizing sort of bench championship. So yeah, it's always going to be difficult. We've got two of the best drivers in the server driving McLarens, which are both going to try and stop you. But when we have days like these with cars also up the grid with me, it's also a massive hand for myself as well because I probably wouldn't have got on the podium today if it wasn't for cars.
Yeah, it was a good choice from Ferrari. It was still a great race from you, Reece. You ended up on the podium. You've narrowed the gap by 3 points to the championship leader. So overall, a decent night. So well done and congratulations on another great podium.
Yeah, cheers, Nathan. Thanks for comms. I just want to congratulate Casper and Cars as well. Massive result for Cars. Got a win before me.
Brilliant, well done. Cheers. Nice one, Reece. So we do move on to the other Ferrari driver, the race winner. It was a double Ferrari podium here tonight. I can't remember the last time we've seen that. We move on to your race winner, Cars. Talk us through that one, mate. Can you hear me, Cars?
You might have to leave and join back, Cars. Yeah, he can hear you, Nathan. He's just...
Yeah, I don't know why it does that. Can you hear me, Cars?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Brilliant. Yeah, talk us through that race, mate.
I have absolutely no clue how that just happened. I found out about what he said 45 minutes before the race. I was asked to jump in a Ferrari. I did a few quali laps of practice and I just jumped in and of course, well, qualifying was already decent, of course, with all the guys having quali bands, me on the front row. I was happy with that. And then at the beginning of the race I was following Casper around. Felt quite decent, to be fair. I had pretty strong pace, just following Casper, and then of course with the strategy I undercut Casper and got out of both. I got out in front of both McLarens. And then I just controlled the race from there, and like we said, I tried to help him as much as I could, and in the end, it worked out. So I have absolutely no clue. I'm really happy with this.
Yeah, it was a great result, mate. To end up getting a race victory in the Ferrari in front of the McLarens, you did a spectacular job in that Scuderia, and you must have been quietly cheering inside when you seen Casper start to slow down. I don't think in the end he would have probably overtaken you anyway because you were just so consistent throughout the Grand Prix. But it must have been a little cheer inside when you did see him obviously start to slow down and then that gap extend to around 3 seconds.
Yeah, well, of course it was, but it also got on my nerves because I was in puncture territory already when that happened. So I saw him start to struggle, and then of course I was really happy with him dropping back and then trying to manage my own tires. Of course, I ended the race on 88% on the front left. So
wow.
Trying to manage my own tires, and I held on. And then of course, when I crossed the line, I mean, I think I exploded in the VC I was in. So amazing.
Yeah, it was a brilliant race, mate. A really well orchestrated race. So congratulations, well done. What a performance, what a return, a race victory here in Silverstone, mate. So congratulations.
Thank you, man. I just want to thank you as well for comms, and thank Reece for helping me as well, giving me the setup I needed and helping me adjust to the car that quickly. And well done to him as well.
Brilliant. Well done. Thanks, Kaz. So there you have it, the two Ferrari drivers. They are both on the podiums, both Scuderias on the top steps. What a race, what a result, what a Grand Prix. That is how it's done here in Formula 7 Realistic. 17 drivers started, 17 ended. Thank you, Casper, I really appreciate it, mate. I was hoping to interview you as well. But yes, thank you all so much, everybody. Enjoy your week. We're going to be back for a Assetto Corsa on Friday. 30 drivers already on track. Make sure you're number 31 because there's still 10 seats available. We have 40 in total. Then we are back on Sunday. for Formula 7 racing in Singapore. 4 races, 80 drivers, one of them could be you. And then we are back for Le Mans in Fiji in Japan on Monday. So if you want to be a part of a Settle Course of Le Mans F1 in the next 4 days, you can be. So !Discord in the chat if you want to become a part of this league. Thank you for watching. Have a great week, everybody. Enjoy it. Take care. Look after yourselves. And I will see you on Friday.